Do you find yourself busy all day long, but yet getting absolutely nothing done? Hi, I'm Paula Ram, and I help direct sellers grow their businesses from home. And this is a super common problem, and if you are a mother who is in charge of taking care of the home, you know exactly what I'm talking about, right? You plan to go clean the kitchen, but on the way to the kitchen, you trip over some toys. So you go put the toys away in the toy box. And while you're in the toy box, you find some dirty socks. So then you take the dirty socks to the laundry room and you realize that, oh, wow, it's time to put a new load in. You put a new load of laundry in. And then when you do that, you find out that, oh, there is an old load in there that stinks now. So you have to sanitize that. And then before you know it, the whole day is gone and the kitchen is still dirty, right? And you just feel like you've gotten nothing done all day long. This is true in business as well. So what do you do about it, right? People, they get in direct sales or they start a business and they feel like they're working all day long. They're on social media, they're responding to emails, they're doing all these things, but they still feel like they're not making the sales or the progress in their business that they would like. All right. So there's two keys to this. One is called time blocking and one is time limiting, all right? So time blocking is setting aside a certain amount of time where you will focus on your most important things, okay? So you need to have one goal that you're working for, one big overarching goal, and everything needs to fit into that. Okay, so when you're making your priorities, is this going to help me meet my one goal I have for this period? Okay, so don't try to multitask. Multitasking is a myth. It's ineffective and it's a time waster and you will not do your best work. When you are working, go all in, get focused on that one task, that one most important task first and get it done, then go on to your second most important task, get it done till your time is up or they're all done, right? So many of you are familiar with Pareto's principle, right? That really only 20% of the tasks you do are getting you 80% of your results, and 80% of the tasks you do are only getting you 20% of your results. So you may need to look at all your tasks, all the things you're doing throughout the day. Maybe start writing down everything you're doing every day, okay? And see, is this really getting me closer to my goal? It might be, they probably all help a little bit, but as I said, many are just contributing to 20% of your results, okay? So those you may need to cut out altogether or reduce the time spent on those. And then put more time on the 20% that's producing 80% of your results. Okay, that's what you want to prioritize first. You want to do first, and you want to time block it. Put that in that blocked focus time, which is the best time of day for you where you're not going to be interrupted, or at least as few interruptions as possible, right? And you get that done. So then at the end of the day, if you only got done one thing, at least you got your most important thing done. And you can't really go to bed then feeling like a failure because you at least got that one top priority done, okay? So you may find that you need to cut out a lot of social media you're doing. You need to cut out a lot of things that really aren't that effective, right? That they're just a time drain, okay? So when we as women entrepreneurs feel like we're juggling too much, it's usually because we're doing too much at the same time, right? So it's like, this helps with, when you have your schedule. Like a lot of times I feel like I wake up Monday morning and I feel like I've got to do the whole week's worth of tasks all in Monday morning, right? I forget that I've got the whole week to do them, right? I feel like I've got to do everything and I've got to do it right now, right? Including, the laundry, the business task, everything right now, this hour, and I get overwhelmed, right? So it's pacing yourself, right? And make sure you're working on the most important things first during your focused time block. All right, the second thing is a time limit. This is also a very powerful principle, okay? the more time you give yourself for a task, the longer it's going to take, and it's going to be less good. What's the word for that? It's not going to be as high quality work, right? If you give yourself more time. There's Parkinson's law that says work expands to fill the time available for its completion. So the more time you give yourself for something, it's not going to be done as well, and you're going to take all that time to do it. And a big example of this, if you remember back in high school, right, when we had term papers, the dreaded term paper, right, that, so stressful, right, because you had all semester to do it, or however long, and it was supposed to be broken up into these tasks, right, but because you saw that you had 3 months to do it, or whatever, it felt like this humongous task, this huge weight. I've got this huge project to do, right? It's going to take me forever, and there's so much to do. So then what you end up doing is procrastinating because you dread doing this big thing, right? And then in comes decision fatigue. Okay, if you put it off till tomorrow, so tomorrow you're like, okay, do I feel like doing it today? Not really. I really have math I need to do or whatever, and you don't do it. So every day you're wasting energy, time and energy, debating when you're going to do it. This is what happens when you procrastinate. You're debating, it's just sucking your energy, right? So then you don't have that energy for the most important decisions or any creative thinking, because you're always in that flux. You haven't made the decision when you're going to do it, how you're going to do it, right? So you've got to give yourself a limit for tasks. Otherwise, like I had this big course I've been working on, right? I did not have a time limit. We kind of had some pseudo time limits, right? But other things came in that trumped it, and then it went. So it's like I had this, ambiguous time limit, right? No open-ended time to get it done. It's kind of like when we would get time for it, we'd have space open up in a week or in the month to work on it. And it's still not done, right? It's been so long because there's no ending point. And in my mind now, I've worked it up to be this humongous task, like this humongous term paper that I put off, I procrastinate, and then I spend valuable brain space debating when to do it, what to move around so that it can get done, right? And if I just gave myself a week to get it done, I probably could get it done. Actually, that did happen. This other great idea came up that was working really well to get sales, for direct sales. So immediately we jumped in and made a course on how to do this. It took us probably a week, maybe 2, I don't know. But we got this course done really fast. We just poured all in, went all in, and got it done. And boom, we had a course done in a week or 2. And this other course has been like over a year, right? And not getting done because there's no time limit. For the first time, we kind of had a time limit because we agreed to do it for our company. Plus, we decided to do a version for our own business. So that kind of gave us that outside time limit to do it. And it's probably done better than the one that I've given myself this open-ended time to do it in, right? Because you kind of haphazardly, half-heartedly work on. But if you have this time limit, boom, you're all in. That's your priority. You go all in and you do a good job and you get it done, right? So give yourself a time limit. I know a lot of times you think, oh, it's stressful to give myself a time limit. But in the end, it feels so good to get something done, to have something done and something done well, right? You think it's not going to be done as well because you don't have as much time, but it's not true. The studies don't show that out, that you actually do a better job by giving yourself less time and not dragging it out, because you don't do a good job when you're working on something you don't really want to do or you've been procrastinating on, okay? So definitely give yourself a time limit. First, time block. Time block your most important priorities for your one goal that you're working on in your business and get that done first thing. Secondly, give yourself a time limit on those tasks. So if you just do these 2 things in your business, you are going to skyrocket. You are going to 10 times your results and your growth in your business this year. All right, thanks guys.